Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Turn your game into a habit. And what do I mean when I say a habit? You want to get to the point in your game. And just to be clear, this don't mean manipulation. Your game, I gotta be clear with it. Your game is whatever you use to get women. Whether you that type who look for choosing signals or your approach, whether you that type who use your money and status, whether you that type who like try to rely on your physicality, your looks, whatever you do, you got to turn it into a habit. And what I mean is this: you want to get to the point where you enacting what you do just out of instinct. It's so natural. You're very natural with it. Like, for example, if you thinking too much about your game, okay, here's a great example. Say you see a woman somewhere, she might be on a bus or something, right? And she just happened to look up and ask you for a pen, right? She trying to write something. She said, hey, do you have a pen or something? If you thinking too much about your game or something, you sitting there thinking about what line you could use and all of that, right? You thinking about it. You're like, well, okay, yeah, I'm going to give it a pen. I should say something smart. Or maybe I should do this or do all that. Then by the time you did all that, somebody else might just hand her the pen. Because you're thinking about it too much. Okay, contrast that with somebody who's turned it into a habit. Like, so you got it to the point, as soon as a woman show that opening, you are already throwing down you already spitting your game. You already hitting her with your mouthpiece or something, right? If you turn it into a habit, okay, she say something about, oh, can I borrow your pen? It's like, oh yeah, here you go. Working on some serious stuff. She's like, yeah, and then flow with that conversation. All of a sudden, boom, y'all might be heading to the Momo that night. Or, she would talk to you and everything. Because I'm going to tell you why. Sometimes what kills many men is they thinking too much about what they want to do. And then they miss the opportunity. When a woman presents an opening, that opening is rarely a long time. Let's be real. I don't know, even if you like an alpha showpiece, she might not give you that long an opening. Usually when women make that opening, it might take a few seconds. Maybe they might be walking or something, they see you, so they'll slow down for a few seconds to see what you do. Or if they really bold enough to approach you, they'll come up and seemingly start a conversation with you over something that's just some indirect stuff, right? She might do that. I mean, it's so many ways that they come at it, right? So many ways they come at it. If you sitting there thinking, you can miss an opportunity. Because sometimes a woman look and say, well, damn, she be thinking, damn, I'm like handing it to him. I'm making the opening. He's hesitating. And a lot of women, if you hesitate as a man, they don't feel like that you the man they should deal with. Women want men who are going to jump on something right away, who going to take charge, make that move. But if you're thinking about it too much or get into what's called the analysis of paralysis, that hurts. You want to get to the point like it's automatic. It's like almost like you could be asleep, not thinking about it or something. But as soon as that woman say hi, you already ready to throw down whatever your thing is, or you ready to pounce. And it's not always going to be easy. It takes practice. That's why I always tell men, like, just start off saying hi to 3 women a day. And see, part of that is becoming a habit too. Okay, you say hi to 3 women a day. At first, a lot of times people might not see it. A lot of guys haven't seen it. I've told guys that. He's like, now what? I was like, okay, you're thinking about it too much. The whole point of that exercise is to get used to speaking to a woman on a random basis. That way, when you actually run into that woman, right, who you think is real attractive, you can say hi to her and you can open up a conversation with her without being nervous, without thinking too much, because it's become such a natural part of you. Because when I say hi to 3 women, you eventually want to get to the point you can have random conversations with random different women. Now, that's an important piece of that, just doing it. You want to get to the point you could say hi or have a conversation with a woman at any point. See, despite a lot of dudes thinking everything's online, it's only a small percentage of people, really a small percentage of adults who actually use online like that. Indeed, online, it's mostly men. So women are still being opened are still open to talking to a man in the streets. They still open to being approached by the right man, or talking to a man maybe in a grocery store or something, or maybe at a social event. They still open for that. You got to get to the point where you could speak to a woman at any place, any time. And I do mean speak. It has to become a habit. And like I said, it's whatever your game is. If you're the type who say, well, you're just going to wait for choosing signals. Well, you got to get into the habit where you can spot a choosing signal easily. And those choosing signals, they give the signals. I have to respectfully disagree with the guys who say they don't. They do give the signals, but you got to pick up on it. Because 95% of women don't want to approach a man. And the only exception is when that guy is just that fine. And even then, the most a woman to do is put herself in a position where he can approach her. And indeed, even if you get a choosing signal, you still need to approach. But then there's also cold approach. You got to get to the point it becomes a habit. You ain't thinking about it too much. You ain't thinking, oh, should I approach that woman? You got to get to the point you see the woman, you just walk. You just walk up. It's like second nature. Very important. Very important. And the only way you can get there is practice. There's no magic that you can do, or somebody say, well, how should I get there? You got to just go ahead and do it. You got to figure it out, but it got to be such a natural part of you that you just into a nice flow. You just get into a really good flow, and you able to do what you need to do. That's the most important thing. Because that's why, I always say get out there. Even for what I say do, I always tell guys, you got to get out there and see how it works for you. And you probably have to adjust it for you specifically, but there's nothing wrong with that. You see, ultimately, every man got his own game. You got to find what works for you. And once you find it, it got to be such a natural part of you that you do it unconsciously. Like, you got to be that type. You could just start you can get in a conversation with a woman. You ain't even thinking about it. You might be thinking about the game or something. And, that woman, you see that woman, you be, hey, how you doing? Just flowing with it. You'd be surprised how much that works. If you actually do it. Because the big problem is a lot of guys thinking too much about it. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work very well like that. All right? So I want y'all to think on that. Turn your thing into a habit, all right? Turn that game into a habit. Anyway, y'all, peace and blessings.